I don't know about you, but I certainly get overwhelmed at the thought of there being an entirely whole new year, 12 months worth of time that I now have to plan and figure out all in one sitting. As I've gotten older, I feel more of the stress and the pressure of like making things happen, getting things done, and filling in every single blank space stresses me out. This video is not meant to add to your stress. It's here to guide you and fill you with positivity and optimism. Let's get the gears turning. Here are some that I've got written out that we can all relate to, and these are certainly communication intentions that my clients in the past year have come to me with. So I've thought that you might find these helpful as well. Starting with being a better listener. This should be on everybody's list. This should be number one. To be a better communicator, you have to be a better listener. You have to be a better conversation partner. How do you improve your speaking skills when you're so busy talking, worrying about what you're going to say, and not really sitting and processing the dynamic of the dialogue? Being a better listener helps you to build a better level of awareness and become a better observer. It gives you the opportunity to play detective and to understand how other people go about sharing information, processing information, what they need from you, how you need to keep up with them, how you need to package the message, how fast or slow you need to talk. For these purposes, let's just say that being a better listener should really center around focusing and listening to what is being said without preparing your response and waiting for your turn to speak. That's a common challenge that I find most people struggle with, is that when they are listening, they're actually so distracted by thinking of what they want to say next because they're so anxious about their turn to speak that they're not actually paying attention to what's being said. And if they are listening, they're trying too hard to show that they're listening and they're still not really paying attention to what's being said. So that should be number one, is to improve your listening skills, be a better listener. Another communication intention you might want to set for yourself this year is to take steps to calm your nervous system. A lot of people who struggle with public speaking and showing up as a confident communicator tend to be filled with a lot of anxious energy. And that anxious energy increases your heart rate, makes you sweat, it makes you feel tense, tight, constricted, short of breath, uneasy, nauseous. It can make you feel less like yourself, and it can certainly impact your delivery by making you more hesitant, stumbling and stuttering on your words, mumbling, speaking way too fast, rushing to get it over with. It can make you overthink things. So something that you've prepared and practiced and that you know like the back of your hand, all of a sudden the day comes and all that anxious energy just makes that confidence fly out the window. By taking steps to calm your nervous system, you're going to help things regulate. And this isn't something that just goes away and gets better because you've thought about it once. It's something that really, really, really needs proper time and attention and addressing. And sometimes that requires seeking professional help from a mental health professional, getting medication, doing therapy, meditating, yoga, deep breathing, nature walks, getting the right sleep, eating well, nourishing your body, releasing tension. There's a whole long list of things that you can do. You've got to explore and find what feels right for you and start to play detective as to like when those feelings are coming up and what can you do to help manage them. Okay, so calming your nervous system might be a really good goal to address the communication challenges you're feeling because they're usually connected. Next intention that you might want to set for yourself this year is to establish a better preparation routine. So if you are somebody who is going into a call, a meeting, a presentation, a conversation, if you are somebody who interacts with anyone else verbally, then this is something you might want to think more of if you find that winging it or just showing up or hoping for the best isn't really working out for you. When establishing a better preparation routine, that means the anticipation of what might happen, what questions might come up for you, what objections, what reactions or responses you might get. Anticipating your direction and how you're going to navigate the conversation, the meeting, the presentation. It also means the practice and rehearsal piece of it. How much time are you spending? When are you able to practice? And how are you simulating the experience so that it feels like role playing the real thing before the day of? Finally, seeking out support so that you're not having to figure it all out by yourself. Getting that feedback from an objective third party, whether it's a friend, a colleague, your manager, your boss, a professional coach, all of the above will help you to kind of get out of your head, because you're always going to see yourself differently than others do. And you're usually going to judge yourself way harsher than everyone else will. Recording and watching yourself back is a fantastic place to start, and you should continue doing that even if you get outside feedback. But getting that additional objective insight will greatly impact your approach and your delivery style. Now, the next communication intention is something that I definitely am seeing a trend of people needing to do this more of, and that is speaking to yourself kindly. When it comes to working on your communication skills, there's got to be a level of self-acceptance there. There's got to be a level of awareness of this is who I am, and that has to be enough. The way that I sound, the way that I talk, and the way that I look has to be okay, and it has to be enough. And it can't just end there. You've got to truly love who you are and how you show up, because if there is any part of yourself that you are feeling insecure about that you can't really change, it's just like who you are and how you are, then there's always going to be a part of you that feels like, ugh, I can't believe that that's how I look and sound. I can't believe that other people have to hear me like this. If you're going to nitpick yourself to the point of being negative and hateful and hurtful towards yourself, you've got to work on that. You have got to set that as something to address in the year of 2025, because we are not going to let that fly here. While it's good to be critical in a constructive way and to look for things that you can improve, it's not okay to be mean and disrespectful towards yourself. There are a lot of people who come to me thinking that their accent is something that needs to be fixed. It needs to be gotten rid of. It can't exist, and it needs to just go away because it's getting in the way. Now, I've been getting fewer and fewer of those types of clients because I think everybody knows by now that that's not my deal, and I'm not here to play that game with people and promise like, let's get rid of your accent in 30 days. That's just not my shtick, and it never will be. I am getting fewer of those types of requests, but for a while there I was, and I was always surprised that people thought they were going to show up and I was just going to affirm all of that negativity and be like, yeah, you're right. Ugh, your accent is horrible. I can't believe you talk to people that way. No, never, ever, ever will you ever hear me giving that type of feedback or speaking with such negativity, because at the end of the day, like I said, you are who you are, and you've got to love it or leave it. You've got to embrace it. And yes, there's going to be things that we can work on. There's going to be changes that you can make to improve your communication style and your communication skills and your delivery and your presentation skills and your interview skills and your video making skills. But there are certain things that we just can't change, because that's all of the shaping that has been done throughout your life has gotten you to be the way you are now. And if you want to just act like a different person, then you're never going to truly feel in alignment with yourself. Let's be better cheerleaders of ourselves. Let's celebrate those wins. Let's track our progress and focus on the steps that we're taking to move forward instead of getting so hung up on all the things that we didn't do right yesterday. Okay? I've got 3 more ideas for you to incorporate into your communication intentions for the new year. And the next one is, oh my gosh, it is such a good one. It is something that I've been telling like every single client in my sessions this past month. And that is to slow down. Stop treating communication like it's a race. I have said this so many times and I will continue to say it. I don't know where everybody gets this idea that they have to race to the end of the sentence as soon as possible. And it is just unrealistic. It is absurd. It's not a good way to approach communicating. It's okay if you are an influencer on TikTok and you're trying to get in your few moments so that you can monetize your video. That's okay. I get it. I have to play those games too. But when you are actually in conversation with somebody, or you're providing information for your part of a presentation and you are like you are going to be received in a totally different way. I'm not here to tell you to slow down and speak like a slug and be really boring. That's not what we're talking about here. What I'm talking about is taking your time, being more intentional, emphasizing information so that it stands out to the listener who cannot see what you're saying. They can't see inside of your mind either. They are hanging on to every word and every sound that you're making, and it is up to you to make the information understandable, easy to follow, and interesting and engaging enough so that they keep up and want to continue paying attention. Those are some hard things to hit every time you speak, right? And you're not going to nail it every single time. There's a time and a place to be like over exaggerating, and there's a time and a place to be quick and to the point and da 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 da. It's usually when you're speaking with family and friends. But when you are up there presenting information, you're trying to sell, you're trying to get buy-in, you're trying to convince, you're trying to win that job offer or get that promotion, you're trying to stand out, then you've got to show up in a way that truly captures the essence of who you are, what you've got to offer, and captures their attention and makes them care. Okay, and that's going to look and sound different for everybody. It's not going to look and sound the way I do it. It's going to look and sound the way that you try to do it differently than how you've been doing it. So my advice is just to start by working on slowing yourself down, being a little bit more mindful, thoughtful, and intentional about how you are delivering your speech, okay? Next up, how about we try to consume more valuable content this year that supports our professional and personal goals? I know that a lot of us fall into the trap of just mindlessly doom scrolling whenever we've got alone time, whether it's after work or in between putting the kids to bed and bath time. I understand. I'm not here to say that participating or indulging in entertainment is a bad thing. It's not. We all need that brain dead time where everything just is shut off and we're just like la 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 la, right? I participate in a lot of that too. But if you've got some professional goals this year of elevating the language that you're using, if you've been feeling a lack of vocabulary and expressions, or you're not feeling so confident and comfortable with the terminology, then you need to make this a priority. You've got to consume information and look for role models that are showing up in the way that you want to and that are using the type of language that you want to incorporate more of. And after you surround yourself with those types of resources and examples, then you need to start incorporating them. And that's a lot of the work that I do with my clients, is establishing a routine that helps you to take what you've learned and actually do something with it. So definitely think about setting that goal for yourself this year. And finally, how about getting more social? If you feel very awkward, uncomfortable, and you avoid small talk like the plague, then maybe this is your sign to incorporate some more socialization into your calendar every single month. You don't need to be the social butterfly of every party. You don't need to turn into a chatterbox or a super extrovert in order to be a better communicator. All you need to do is flex the muscle of engaging in conversation and small talk with others so that you shift the focus off of yourself and you start to get better at being more interested in learning about others. When you participate in the back and forth of a conversation, you learn what types of questions to ask. You learn what gets you to the goal you're trying to achieve by wanting to learn more about people or about something that they've done or seen or watched, building rapport and connection, establishing trust, expanding your professional network, having fun. Maybe you're trying to meet somebody, maybe you're trying to date, maybe you're trying to set up your friend with somebody, right? Like there's always a goal to a conversation, and sometimes that's just to like have fun and exchange ideas. Whatever it is, you're only going to get better at that by participating in more socialization and activities. If you don't have a lot of friends, that's okay. You can certainly seek out opportunities that are happening in your local community, your town, your neighborhood, your city, or things that are happening at work. They might be hosting events that you can attend. Maybe you need to pick up a new hobby and participate in gatherings centered around that activity. For example, in my neighborhood on Facebook, there's a ton of groups that are centered around knitting and crafting, book clubs and movie clubs, sports like pickleball, which is something that I picked up last year, and I made a ton of new friends in my neighborhood that I never would have ever met if I hadn't put myself out there to play this new sport and game. Do yourself a favor if this is something that you have been struggling with and you know that you need to do more of. I am urging you, is something that we should all really be prioritizing is connection with our local community, connection with people we work with, people that we spend the most time with or come into contact with. We need to have stronger communities, and we need to start letting our guards down and feeling like we can just truly connect with people and get to know them and have fun and feel like, great, now I have somebody that I can reach out to if I need something, or if I want to have a good time, if I'm looking for a laugh, or if I am in need of help, someone who can recommend me a plumber or a really good place to get Thai food, right? There's all sorts of things that people know and are good at, and sometimes you've got to just like take that extra step to put yourself out there and flex those communication skills to get where you want to in life. Okay, great. As for myself, I've got 3 main communication intentions that I'm setting for this year. The first one being to show up more online. Marketing my business involves me filming myself, sharing educational content, and being entertaining at the same time, and being across all these platforms that I have established for myself. At the end of last year, I really fell off the wagon there. I disconnected from everything because I was going through a lot, and I also ended up traveling. This year, I want to do a better job of being a good role model, setting a good example, and continuing to inspire others, while also spreading the word about my services by showing up and making more content. So that is a big goal for me this year. And in turn, it helps me to flex my communication skills and build those muscles of being more confident on camera and doing a better job of expressing my thoughts and ideas in this type of format. The second intention I'm setting for myself is to finish the books that I have started reading last year. So I have a really bad habit of buying way more books than I can keep up with. And so you'll see all these beautiful books that I've got on the shelf there. And, they look great. And I'm always so inspired to start them. But I get very easily distracted and I have a hard time just turning everything off and committing myself to a solid half hour or hour of reading. And I really want to get better at that this year, because I know that the more information that I consume, the better able I'll be to then digest, process that information, and share it with my clients and with my audience and for myself as well. There is no cap to the learning that we can achieve as adults. I always say that learning is a lifelong journey. It doesn't end just because you're not in school anymore. So I want to set a good example and, practice what I preach and finish some of the books that I have started last year, because there are quite a few and they're really good. The third and final communication intention I'm setting for myself is to also get more social. I am someone who works for myself from the comfort of my home, which means I don't need to go outside if I don't want to. And these days, everything is available with the click of a button. So if I don't push myself to go outside, especially in these cold winter months, it's like 18 degrees right now outside, then I often don't see the sky or the sun. I want to push myself to participate in activities that are happening indoors and make more friends in my community, put myself out there, network, all that good stuff. So that is another one of my goals for this year. Now it is time for you to sit and think about the intentions you are going to set for yourself this year. We're not here to set big, lofty, unattainable, unrealistic goals. We are here to set some good intentions and to reflect on the things that we feel we have some room to improve on. If you set your intentions, you reflect, you build that awareness, you're honest with yourself, and you put some good energy out there, I know that the sky is the limit for you. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's put that good energy out there. If it helps, share your intentions down in the comments so that I can cheer you on and everyone else can feel like, we're all in this together. Go ahead. I'll see you in the comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video, for joining me today. I'm wishing you all the best today and always, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.